Some breaking news. Police are investigating a shooting in Westminster. Here's a live look at an apartment complex near the Orchard Town Center. Police haven't really told us anything other than the fact that there was a shooting. Once we get any more information, we'll keep you updated as it comes into the newsroom.
There is now a driver under arrest more than 3 months after a crash on the western slope killed 3 people, including 2 CDOT workers.
CSP says the 59-year-old man was under the influence when his car swerved off of Highway 6 in Mesa County. 9 News reporter Spencer Soisher joins us now after talking with the widow of one of the CDOT workers. And Spencer, she's been waiting for this day for a long time.
Yeah, she has, and she's frustrated it took this long, but she's grateful that the man troopers say hit her husband is now in jail.
I cried, happy tears, because it's about time.
Christine Umberger finally got her wish.
He's been out living his life every day while we've been trying to figure out how to live ours without our husband and a father of our children.
In September, her husband Trent and his fellow CDOT employee Nate Jones were struck by a driver. Colorado State Patrol says the driver, 59-year-old Patrick Sneddon, was under the influence of drugs or alcohol when he drove off the right side of the road on Highway 6 near Grand Junction. Jones and Umberger died at the scene.
Big smile, a big teddy bear. He always wanted to help everybody. He made friends wherever we went.
State Patrol says Jones and Umberger were wearing their safety vests and standing behind a truck when they were hit.
They try and do the best they can. They did everything right that day. I had just spoke to him a few minutes prior. They were very safe, not only with their shirts, their hard hats, the signs, the cones. There was every possible sign that shouldn't have happened.
While she mourns the loss of her husband, Christine is relieved that today finally came.
So I just want justice for my husband, and Nate deserves the justice, and the lady as well.
In addition to 3 counts of vehicular homicide while under the influence, the driver was also charged with multiple counts of violating the state's new move-over law resulting in death. That was updated last year. It now requires drivers to move over 1 lane or slow down when they see any stationary vehicle with its hazard lights on. Spencer Soisher, 9 News.
It was a nice, mild day, the big mountain wave cloud going on, though, and then the wind kicked up along the foothills. So, Kathy, tomorrow, more of the same?
Yes, and probably more wind, which doesn't make anybody happy. But the wind created really just a beautiful picture in the sky today at sunrise and sunset. That mountain wave cloud has shifted east, and now the wind is coming down to the surface. But the sunset pictures coming in from all of our viewers that are watching, and we so appreciate that. In spite of the cloud cover, we managed mid-50s this afternoon after a chilly start. We're still in the mid-40s this hour, and temperatures could go even warmer tomorrow as we see a southerly wind. And look at the foothill gusts already, 40, 50, 60 miles per hour. With a high wind warning in effect, we could see gusts to 80, and that could take power lines down, tree limbs down, patio furniture, garbage cans, kind of batten down the hatches. This is going to be a loud night overnight in the foothills for you, and this may be extended out past 6 a.m. So high wind warning for the foothills, metro area, relatively calm and mild. Coming up in Maine weather, we're going to look ahead to the Christmas holiday forecast. In the next 24 hours, other than high clouds coming and going, a really nice looking day coming up for us after a chilly start. So we'll have all of that for you with the extended outlook coming up.
16 people with suspected ties to the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua are in ICE custody tonight. It's all connected to an assault at an apartment complex in Aurora. Police say a group of armed people held a man and a woman against their will at the Edge at Lowry Apartments Monday night, tying them up and torturing them. They were released early the next morning. Aurora police say in total, 19 people were taken into custody. 3 were released last night after police determined that they were not involved. As far as we know, no one has been charged with any state crimes yet. ICE says the 16 people who are detained are all in the U.S. without proper documentation, and they'll stay in their custody.
Former Republican Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters is in a new jail tonight. She complained she didn't feel safe in Mesa County's lockup. Peters is serving 6 months in jail before she begins an 8.5-year prison sentence. It's for her role in a breach of her county's election systems. The Mesa County Sheriff's Office says that Peters was transferred to the Larimer County Jail, even though they say they investigated and they didn't believe she was in imminent danger on the western slope. Peters will only serve a few months in Larimer County, then she'll be transferred into the state prison system. A huge player in medical care in Colorado has a secret. It sues its patients multiple times a day after day, year after year.
Earlier this year, UCHealth told 9 News Investigates reporter Chris Vanderveen that its practices were in line with other systems in Colorado. But tonight we can report otherwise, thanks in no small part to a change in Colorado law.
They arrive on foot, documents in hand. Personal deliveries of bad news.
Yeah, I have to serve some paperwork.
Process servers have this down. A knock on the door, a summons, a complaint, a lawsuit, and an amount.
When is the first time you find out you owe them money?
When I got served by a deputy, I got served paperwork, a summons to appear in Grand County Court.
Dan Mayer received this summons in October. It informed him the business suing him was also the business that helped save his life.
I was diagnosed with metastatic melanoma.
A little scary?
It was. I remember when they called me and they said, "We've got bad news, it's melanoma." And I said, "Is that bad?" And the dermatologist kind of said, "Yeah, it is."
UCHealth wanted $3,969.50. Odd, considering UCHealth's own web portal told him this.
When your balance says 0, you think you owe
0.
So you still don't really know what's going on.
No.
But they're suing you,
Yes.
and that doesn't feel good.
No. Not at all.
Ayla wanted us to use only her first name. In September, she received this summons notifying her UCHealth was suing her for $1,828.19. Also odd.
This is crazy because I just finished paying off all of the debt. I was like, what the heck is going on?
Odd, considering her online portal indicated she too owed UCHealth nothing.
I know I worked so hard to continue to pay that bill off. And then for it to come back like 3 years later, I was so appalled by it.
One ER visit for a broken bone in her back. She even went as far as to show us her bank records that showed her paying whatever she could month after month for more than a year.
Sometimes the $25 was all I had left in my bank account. And I was like, see ya.
It is the largest provider of healthcare in the state, and arguably its best known. UCHealth cares for millions a year. It also sues thousands under the idea those patients simply don't want to pay their bills.
Why continue to do this?
We do not want to end up in court. Any patient that responds to us, we will work with them.
When we spoke to their chief legal officer earlier this year, she insisted UCHealth was no outlier when it came to its litigation practices.
Our practices are pretty consistent, I believe, with most other systems in Colorado and across the country.
But now, for the first time, we can report otherwise. Thanks in no small part to this legislation signed into law earlier this year, a law sponsored by legislators who credited our coverage during its passage. Since August, no other large medical provider in the state has sued more patients than UCHealth.
We believe that UCHealth has the resources and power to stop this.
The news hardly surprises people like Marissa Halo with the Denver-based Center for Health Progress.
We do not hear from people that are being sued by other hospitals in Colorado. The folks that are coming to us consistently have been sued for care at UCHealth.
The law, which went into effect in early August, put an end to a years-long practice first uncovered by 9 News Investigates of UCHealth suing under the names of third-party debt collectors, a practice that made the medical giant's litigation practices virtually impossible to track.
I was shocked by your story. I was shocked at the volume of the cases.
State Senator Sonia Jaquez Lewis sponsored this legislation. So did State Senator Lisa Cutter.
That was a great story, and I really appreciate the reporting.
Now able to track all lawsuits, we built a database of every debt collection case filed under UCHealth's name since August 9th. More than 330 lawsuits that on a few dozen occasions resulted in wage garnishments. We also found this. On at least 2 occasions, the lawsuit secured the garnishment of wages of 2 patients who also happen to be employees of UCHealth.
It continues to surprise me that UCHealth would have the chutzpah, frankly, to sue this many patients.
Denver attorney David Seligman, who has sued UCHealth in the past for its debt collection practices, says once again we have uncovered a problem.
UCHealth, again, has a system of suing first and asking questions later, and that results in UCHealth being one of the most litigious entities in Colorado.
We reached out to dozens of those facing these lawsuits, and while we cannot say how many were patients who simply didn't want to pay their bills,
I was like, what the heck is going on?
patients like Ayla told us they had no idea they even had a bill left to pay.
I don't want to go to a UCHealth hospital after this.
Dan Mayer simply told us.
You seem like you're glad I called you.
Beyond glad you called me.
Told us he's relieved to know he's hardly the only one to get that knock on the door.
I thought I was very unique in this until, I'll be honest with you, until you talked to me, because it told me the magnitude of this.
We first reached out to UCHealth for comment on this story last Thursday and again yesterday. The hospital has clearly chosen not to talk to us regarding the story and not to answer any of our questions. We can report that the only other hospital system that comes close to UCHealth's lawsuit numbers, Children's Hospital, which has filed more than 250 lawsuits since August. A spokesperson told us lawsuits are a matter of, quote, last resort. Chris Vanderveen, 9 News.